I have always loved to sew. I started sewing when I was really little. My mom sewed, my grandmother sewed. So my mom taught me the basics of hand sewing and machine stitching when I was probably 6 or 7. I was pretty little. And that's just a skill that always followed me through life. Vintage, it's nice for the dress to be able to live a whole new life. I mean, these gowns, they're gorgeous. They've only been worn one time. It's nice for them to get to live another life. Usually there's very little things that you can do to make the dress more modern. Oftentimes I remove a sleeve, open a neckline, and it looks like a brand new dress. I pull a lot of inspiration from classic movies. I like to blend classic styles with modern styles, so you have a very modern, unique look. All of the vintage gowns, they range in era from the early 1900s to about the early 1980s. And then there are a selection of gowns that are a combination of a new and a vintage gown. This gown, the skirt is a modern skirt. It's Duchess silk satin, and the bodice is from a gown from the 1980s, the early 1980s. So I've combined them together to create kind of a classic, but modern yet vintage look. I don't only just do bridal here. There are a lot of accessories, vintage and new accessories. There's headpieces, outerwear, vintage party dresses that can be used for any special occasion, not just for the wedding. Their collection of veils. This is a Cathedral Alençon French lace veil by Priscilla of Boston from the 1960s. There's also a collection of new veils that are locally designed, and then they are made fair trade in India. All of this is done by hand. I get my inventory from all over. I call it just kind of a constant treasure hunt. I love to go out antiquing. I get a lot of calls and emails from people who live in the Cleveland area who have a dress that they would like to sell from their family. That's probably my favorite way, because then I can meet the family members and I can know exactly the era that it came from, the wedding date, hear a little history. It's just such a happy time in people's lives. It's nice to be able to share a part in that, the joy of someone's wedding.